Today I'm going to show you how to take the flags out of a 300 class National Cash Register. This happens to be a 310, but this technique works for any of the 300 class and the 700 class. So if you need to take these flags out so you can strip them, paint them, and put new numbers on, which I sell on eBay under Vic160, this is the video for you. You're going to see screws down here on this strip. This one happens to have 3. But the longer that this is in here with more flags, the more screws you'll have. You have to take and you have to loosen these 3 screws up. 1, 2, 3. Okay, once you get those 3 screws loosened, on the back here, this is the bail. Right here, this is what holds the flags up when you press a key. So if you pull it back this way, your flag will fall down in, and that'll be out of your way. So the next thing you want to do is this strip right here comes right out. Now what you want to do before you even do that is to take a picture of the lineup of these flags. These all have different bends, so make sure that they all fit in this compact space. So you're going to want to take a picture of this before you take all these out so you know. Okay, so this is the piece right here that you're going to slide right out. You just have to loosen those front screws. You didn't have to take them all the way out. Now it might be a little tricky because it's been in there for 100+ years. Get that right out of your way. Now you'll be able to take your flags out. A lot of these springs in here should be replaced. As you can see that they're not all the same, some of them are busted. So you just pick straight out. This thing's going to be in your way though. So if you push a key part way down till that moves, then you can pop these flags right out. Okay, now what you want to do before you strip these is take a piece of masking tape and put it around here and write the denomination of what it is on that masking tape. That way when you strip this and then paint it and go back to put your numbers on it, it'll still be there down here so you know where this flag goes. Because like I said, these all have certain bends of where they go. Then, just in the reverse, when it's time to put them all back in, you line them all up, and then you have to line this in there, and it goes underneath that front part with the screws right here. That lines it all up. And that's about it. Again, if you need flags, get a hold of me. It's Vic160 on eBay, or email me vicdoc160 at stny.rr.com. Okay, so here's the flags after you get them all out. Notice how I took tape and wrapped it around here. You'll have to wipe the grease off for the tape to stick, so I know exactly what this flag is. Because like I said, the bend in that, they're all different. Not all of them, but they all have their certain bend that they go. And just remember, when you put these back in, this goes towards the back of the cash register. So you'll always be able to tell which way's forward and which way's backwards. I'm going to get some stripper on these and I'll show you the process along the way. Okay, so I'm not going to show you the other side, but here's at least one side. This is the orange stripper. It's called Citrus Strip. They sell it at Lowe's, probably a lot of other stores too. Walmart I know carries it. It's my favorite because I can use it in the house and it doesn't smell other than citrus. It isn't really rough on your skin either, so that's why I use it. So I let it sit on there for a good hour probably to eat the paint off, and then I'll go and scrape it off with like a scrubby pad or whatever underneath the sink, and then flip it over and do the same exact to the other side. Okay, got my flags all stripped. Took a couple coats. The paint that was on there real tough. You might want to try a stronger stripper. The orange didn't work as good as it usually does. I don't know what's going on with that, but you can use any kind of paint stripper. Some of them are just real strong. I liked the orange because it was good for using in the house, but it took a couple coats, but I got it all off. You can see I've base coated with a primer on those, and then I put on a good probably 3 coats of white. It's not like a stark white, it's just barely white. Now if you wanted to, you could do those in ivory, which I've also done before, if you want that slightly aged look. But this machine's probably going to get restored all the way, so therefore I decided to go with the white. Got my flags all ready to go. I'll show you the next step. Here's how I like to start this. I take and get all my numbers, this is just a sampling, and I cut them into little squares like this. I think it's easier, because when you take the flag and you're going to place the number, you'll peel the front part off with the letter, with the numbers attached to it, And these go kind of high on the flag. Most of this flag at the bottom doesn't show. I just think it's easier to line up the flag numbers on the flag if you cut all the way closest to it that you could get. It just seems to work better for me. It's going to be hard to show you how to put these on, but you just peel off the front layer with the numbers attached to it, throw the backing away, and then you place it on your flag, and then you'll rub it down real good, and then you'll peel the corner off and leave the numbers on, and then just make sure it's nice and smooth. You only have one chance to do this. Once you put it down, you can't peel the numbers back off without stretching them. It'll be a mess. So I'll show you ahead when I get some done. Okay, here's a few done just for a sample so you can see how they go on. When you put these on, they go kind of high on the flag, as I said before. There's a little bit of white space down here because the register's in here. So you just want to put them kind of high, because if not, they could be tucked down in once you push the flag up. So I'm going to get the rest of these done and then show you how to put it back in the register and wrap this video up. Here's the mechanism. I degreased it and I lubed it before I put the flags in. As you can see, it's all nice and shiny on the inside again. After 100 years, they always need that. So don't skip that step. Just go ahead and do it. Okay, so it's time to put the flags back in. You'll notice down here there's a set of holes all the way across here. Those are the holes that the flags go in. The last one's not really there. So you got to get them past this bail, but you're going to have to push it down a little bit till it moves out of your way. Make sure your hands are clean when you're doing this. You don't want to get greasy old fingerprints all over your fresh, clean flags. Then you got to get the flag and the spring down in there. Just like that. One in. Then your next one, this bend on this one might be a little shorter than the bend on the last one. That's the one I've got pressed down, so that one won't go down all the way. And you just keep going on, remembering that that point goes in the back. See how they're all nice and lining up? I'm going to do that and to give you a final shot. Okay, got all the flags in. Like I told you before, this will give you an issue. Sometimes it'll catch on the top, sometimes they'll catch on the bottom, so you just have to play with it to get it in. You can move it a little bit if it's in the home position. Sometimes if you got one key part way up, you can give it a little squeeze and they'll fall down in. But they're all lined up. They're all exactly where they should be, so they don't rub on each other. This number 50 is giving me a little issue. This piece down here might have to be changed on this register. I think there's a piece missing in there. We're going to give it a whirl. We're going to put this thing back in. It wiggles underneath that front piece with the 3 screws. Make sure all these springs are underneath it. That's what pushes your flag back down once you release it. And then I'll show you it all complete. Okay, just a couple little finishing hints and we're going to wrap this up. This piece is the piece that you put in. It holds all the flags in. There is an upside, there is a downside. You have to make sure, because as you see those large cast iron pieces, that this has to fit around. So you got to try it until you can wiggle it in there and it fits around those cast iron pieces in there. This front piece, the one that you loosen the screws on, the holes in that are elongated. So this has slots, this has elongated holes. So both units together can slide forwards or backwards. You have to watch to make sure that when you do it, that these tails can still come up freely and they don't hit the edge of this right here. But all the flags are back in. You got to try it a couple times to be able to get this adjusted to where you need it. Sometimes it'll pinch one flag and the flag won't come down. When you push another key, sometimes it's just flopping in the breeze. So you just got to play with it till you get it exactly where it needs to be. Here it is all wrapped up. Now you have to watch when you don't have the comb in for these keys. They'll sometimes get a little stuck to each other. But as you can see, we're all good. Everything goes up and comes down as it should. They all look great. If you have any problems or any questions, feel free to email me at vicdoc160@stny.rr.com.